Hello everyone and welcome to episode 14 of 6 out of 7 podcast. I am Liam.
And I'm Calum.
We are going to talk about guilty pleasures today. Film wise, not just like I like eating a pot noodle sandwich.
You don't like eating
I don't.
It would be so soggy unless you have it hard.
It would
People
fall
eat
out.
noodles hard. People eat noodles hard, Liam. They just like crunch it. You know, like a pack of noodles.
Aye.
20 people eat that like that.
No they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No they don't.
Yeah, they do.
That's weird.
Right,
wouldn't
if you do.
wouldn't taste anything.
People do it. People can't be bothered to boil water.
There was a girl in work that was eating something and I said, What are you eating? And she was like, oh, do you want one? It's
What are you
seaweed.
eating?
It's seaweed. And I was like, okay. And it was like dried flat seaweed.
Yeah, like for sushi.
No, I don't know.
You put that around sushi.
Right, but she was eating it and she said, oh, I'm a vegetarian, so that's why I'm eating this. Have you ever tried it?
I've tried it on sushi. It like wraps rice in little circular cylindrical shapes.
That was one of the worst things I've ever tried. It was like salty water.
Yeah.
Salty paper.
Yeah, that's what it is. You seem so annoyed. You're about to vomit.
I'm not...
in recollection.
I'm not annoyed, but I was just like, how could you eat this when you could be eating like a pack of wine gums?
Gelatin, yeah. Gelatin.
Obviously.
Animals.
Anyway, GOT bros.
Yeah.
Let's discuss it.
This is a Game of Thrones podcast.
What did you think?
Loved it. I loved it. I love every episode. I love every episode.
There's nothing. What?
I mean, I feel like the fact they're killing off all of Daenerys' like friends is like a bit like, okay, we get it, right? She's like turning dark, and this is why she's turning dark, because like all of her mates are dead. Basically, everyone she carried on with is gone. Tyrion is like her oldest friend now. Grey Worm, I suppose, but Grey Worm's not going to be great chat. He's not going to be like, hey, like I'm feeling this, feeling that. But yeah, Missandei, Dracarys, that was cool. Why didn't Daenerys blow up all them ships by like flying around the fleet?
Right, okay, yeah. Obviously, she could have like
so
flanked
many things.
it.
Easy.
But there was a lot of arrows coming at...
Yeah.
What's our last dragon called?
Drogon.
Right, okay. I didn't know if that was the one.
I was really upset that Rhaegar... I was a bit upset. I just kept thinking they're going to kill Jon.
When it got shot through the head, I was a bit like, that's brutal.
Yeah, man. They're characters, those dragons.
Are they?
Yeah, they've used sort of her kids. They're like season 1, you know. They're season 1 characters.
Yeah, they were eggs. She went into the fire.
Characters.
She came out naked, or she went in naked. She came out naked.
No, she had clothes on when she went.
What I remembered from it was she was naked.
Yeah, nudity.
Do you know what I mean?
She hasn't done that in a while, to be fair.
Maybe it's out of her contract. Maybe she's like, I will not be naked. No.
Yeah, good.
Last season was she naked? We've seen Jon's butt.
Her and Jon, yeah. But that was very tasteful, wasn't it? Him and his aunt. Very tasteful scene.
But now he's like, no, auntie, I don't want to kiss you.
Are you drunk? Her coming in being like, are you drunk? It was very like,
yeah,
what?
that's
Back off.
Bit rapey.
Yeah, bit rapey.
But
I love Arya and the Hound pairing up. I hope we're going to give them no time. They're going to King's Landing to fucking kill their respective targets. That'd be cool, but they're not going to give it any time. The trouble is, everyone is like flitting about the country like so quickly. It used to take 3 episodes for anyone to get anywhere, and now it's like
they've got 2 episodes left.
That's what I'm saying. But it annoys me. It annoys me that there's no time.
It does feel a bit like we're going here, come to go back there, to go back, you know. But it's just because they're running out of time.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen? Is Jon going to have to lead?
I hope not, because he really doesn't want it.
Yeah.
What about Sansa?
Nah, she'd probably be quite good, but I think she's
dead moany.
What do you mean she's dead moany?
She just goes like going up to men and like touching their hand and
she did that like once.
I could marry you if you wanted.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she keeps saying that to everyone.
No,
anyone that will listen.
I'm pretty sure that's Daenerys that you're thinking of. She was like, hey, you mustn't tell anyone about this secret.
That was so weird.
Yeah.
She was like, don't tell anyone, and then it like cut to people talking about it.
Yeah, that's odd. It was an odd thing to say.
It was a good episode.
She's becoming weird. It's a good episode. Missandei died. Sad. Rhaegar died. Sad. Euron needs to fucking go. He's not as evil as anyone else, but he keeps turning up like in ridiculous scenarios.
I don't know who he is.
Euron. He's the guy who pilots the ships. He's not a pilot. He's a captain.
Oh right.
He's
like the mustache twirling villain.
Yeah, he's like but he's just everywhere all the time.
He looks like Sabretooth from X-Men Origins.
Yeah, that's a
nice reference.
That's a fair comparison. I think he's about as interesting as well.
GOT bros.
Lots of thoughts. Trying to be brief, but here we are at the 6 minute.
I just watch it. I don't really absorb it.
You don't have any thoughts about how it's going on next
time?
No,
obviously I want to see how it ends, but like if you're not a major character with an easy to remember name. I don't know who you are really.
Right.
And I don't pretend to.
Good. It's a lot.
Let's move on.
Should we move on?
SpiderMan trailer.
I got Spider-Man trailer.
What do you think?
Saw it twice.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched it twice. I watched it once, then I watched it again. Liked it.
What, in a row?
No, like I saw it last night and I saw it this morning. It's only been out like about 10 minutes.
That's not true.
You texted me you texted me about like watch the trailer and then I went on it. It's like this has been around for like about 3 seconds.
No.
How did Liam know?
True.
How did Liam know? Is Liam like got like Tom Holland on speed dial or something? It was very quickly after.
What did you have Tom Holland in front of yours?
Yeah,
hey, spoilers.
Yeah, watch it if you've seen Endgame. Is that not the only one that's out?
Well, I don't. Stephanie started watching something and it was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh.
Being like, hey, my new trailer's about to drop, but I'm also on Broadway. And then she turned it off. I was like, how dare you? But
Stephanie, you're allowed to turn things off.
Not
Don't
Jake
let your
Gyllenhaal.
husband tell you what or not to do.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
We decided last time it was Gyllenhaal, didn't we? With Maggie.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not how you say it. There's a video on how you pronounce
Oh,
it.
Gyllenhaal or something.
Yeah,
right? But like,
I'm
not
Swedish.
I'm not from there, so I'm gonna say it.
Well, how do you say
I'm gonna
IKEA?
say it because I'm from England. IKEA. How do you say it? How do you say it?
And Tommy Robinson. Just.
How do you say it?
Just IKEA.
Yeah. So what?
It's probably a fancy
Why are
way
you
to
making
say
fun
it,
of the way I'm saying it?
Let's move
I can't
on.
say any of the furniture if you want to.
Did
do
you like Mysterio?
That. Yeah, I think he's a liar. I think that's like I'm from another planet. Like that is such a good Mysterio. Like
No, they will be doing that
he's not gonna be. There'll be a multiverse, but he's a liar. He's not from
because
another
then
world.
they're going to the post credit will be Cyclops walking through, be like, "Hey kid,
You reckon?
I'm Cyclops."
That's an extreme. The multiverse, I'm 100% behind. I think it's true, but I don't think Mysterio is from another world. I feel like the whole thing we're talking about Mysterio being this SFX guy that like he wants to appear as the hero. He wants to fill the void that Iron Man has created or left. He's a liar. He's going to say I'm from any which way in order to become that person, become that hero. I think it's going to be a reveal. They're going to be working together, and then he's going to become the villain when Spider-Man works out that like. You're not from another world.
So do you think all the four elements, the villains will be?
They might be extra dimensional.
Right. Okay. I thought you meant that they would be
Effects
like
of him.
effects.
No, I think his character is going to be like not to be trusted. Quentin is not to be trusted. No one called Quentin should be Bex,
yeah.
something like that. Not to be trusted. Never. A man called Quentin, don't trust him.
I think it looks good though, like the fishbowl.
Yeah, I'm coming round onto the
believable.
Yeah.
Not even believable. That sounds so stupid, but it doesn't look as ridiculous as it should.
Yeah.
For a man wearing a fishbowl.
Yeah. It's I'm coming. I didn't like it when I first saw it in the original trailer, but now I'm coming around to it. I like his weird sort of prismy magical hands, the green goo, the green vapes.
I think it looks a lot deeper.
Deeper in what way?
I thought it would just be like a romp. A nice little romp, like him on Hol. I suppose that was before we seen Endgame, but I just thought it would be him kind of on holiday and dealing with some but it looks like it's going to deal with losing Tony a lot more and maybe introducing some more characters.
Yeah, the multiverse is a really cool idea to bring forward, and hopefully that is like true and a consequence of the snap. You know, it's the snap ripped a hole in the reality of whatever. That's kind of cool, but. Yeah, I want it to keep its tightness, and this is what what you're saying is interesting. But like,
smaller
what is it? Yeah, like this is bitch. You've been to space, like but he shouldn't have been in space.
Oh, I didn't like that.
I like that. It's funny, but like he shouldn't have been. The point is, he's like friendly neighborhood. He's local. He should be local and remain. The story should remain smaller. I think it's doing the sequel thing where it's got to be like right. So like now he's got to fight a bigger threat.
Yeah,
and I want them to sort of remain within some quite tight parameters, otherwise it gets becomes this big thing and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, did you see the slate, what they've announced?
No.
Every time you sigh when I'm editing it sounds like you're really bored.
I'm not bored.
Right,
I'm not bored. I'm just
having a sigh.
I'm upset with myself for not having seen it, Liam.
It's mental.
Breathing. Is it mental?
Like, I don't know if it's fan made, to be honest. A lot of people I've spoke to said it's legit.
Right.
It's like Power Pack and Nova and
cool.
Fantastic Four.
Right.
So
how is Fantastic Four? Like, when's that? Like, what does the slate give you a year?
That's
or just like,
I think it might, but that's
insane.
This is what if they open portals to alternate universes and worlds, then they could easily do that. Just be like, here's the Fantastic Four. They're
from Fantastic Four planet.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
It's cool.
It just feels like it's going wild.
Yeah, we've got time and now we've got like space. Time and space. It's all changing, fluid, and gooey. Cool.
Gooey.
But Spider-Man shouldn't be the one. I mean, he can introduce it, right? Obviously, like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse used that concept really well and told an effective, tight story with that like crazy interdimensional narrative mechanism. But this, I'm concerned about it becoming too like fucking, it's the fate of the galaxy kind of thing. Where he's gonna lose, reality's gonna fall apart. Like Spider-Verse, like it was the reality. You haven't seen it yet. It becomes at the end a bit like we're gonna lose all the realities, and that's like, stop it. That's a boring film.
And then they have a meme at the end.
And
someone farts.
Oscar award winning someone farts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So like, I think Sony should really pay attention and like try and do it right, because these films are popular. But they always knew that. They don't need me at my little podcast telling them that.
Yep, 50 listeners a week.
A week?
That's not bad.
It's pretty good.
Happy with that.
I can't picture 50 people. That's a hard number to visualise.
If 50 people were in a room and you were talking, I would fucking freak out.
Yeah.
I'd run out of the room.
You have to do a presentation soon.
Hey, let's not get into work chat. So, shall we...
What are we talking about?
Guilty pleasures?
Oh, yeah.
What's your pleasure?
What's your pleasure? That was quite good. I don't know who you were being.
I think it was Cockney.
That's quite good, though. Wherever it was.
You're a real Cockney.
Am I? Am I?
I think so, yeah.
Are you? Thanks. Nah.
Is that East London?
So. Yeah, East London. Like, there's a rule in it. Like, there's the Bow Bells, and if you live within, you can hear the Bow Bells, and I definitely can't up from where I'm from.
Now you're talking Cockney.
Am I?
I don't know what any of that means.
Don't worry about it then. Guilty pleasure. What's your pleasure? What's your guilty pleasure, Liam?
Van Helsing.
Can we like get a very clear sets of terms?
Right.
Like,
okay.
What do you mean by guilty pleasure?
All of these films, I would not feel guilty about saying I liked.
Right.
Because
you wouldn't feel guilty.
Art is subjective.
Yes.
And that films or
books.
A painting or books or music, what sounds good there's so many times I'll have like Talking Heads on or The Cribs or something like that, and Stephanie will be like, that sounds awful,
right.
And I'm like, no, it doesn't, I like it.
Yeah.
And you could watch a film and be like, this is good, and you'll come out and someone will say this, me and
you have done that many times.
Yeah,
Pacific
exactly.
Rim too.
Yeah,
we had such a good argument.
Like that would be to me that would be a guilty pleasure, because to me I thought that was rubbish.
But you didn't like it. But you did like it.
No, but if
me
someone
liking it is a guilty pleasure.
If you had this on this episode, I would be like, yes, that is a guilty pleasure, because that was a crap film.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's our term, right? Like, it's guilty to you, not like there is because you can Google it and there's a list of these films that people go, oh, these are guilty pleasure films, and like some of them I don't understand. Like I don't understand the concept. Like Waterworld, is that like an especially bad
Waterworld
film?
is like, yeah, it's a bad film, but it also, I think, a lot to do with...
It's really popular, is it not?
Yeah, kind of, because it's a big blockbuster, but it was one of the most expensive films ever made, and it bombed.
Right.
So I think that makes an impact on whether people regard it as a bad film.
Or they feel comfortable telling other people that they like it.
Yeah, because like Johnny English, I love, well, apart from the second one, I don't love the first one either.
Third.
I love the first one.
First one's great.
Right, and the third one's okay.
Third one's alright.
We watched it in the cinema.
Had a great time.
It was literally empty.
So good.
It was fun. Like, I would regard that as a guilty pleasure because it's like silly and not many people like it.
Right. So okay.
But it's not to do with that one's not to do with money, because that probably made its return.
It had 2 sequels.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly as well. So it must have succeeded a little. But I don't know what
It's a hard term to nail down, because I think what I like about you and me, I like about myself as well, and that you just like be honest about what you like.
Yeah,
and like,
sure.
I don't feel guilty about liking Pacific Rim. I don't feel guilty about liking Johnny English. I have like guilty pleasure. Like, this is a big excuse for the fact that I haven't done my homework, but I find it hard to nail down like what that actually means to me. I feel like it's a term that's outdated. Like, does anyone now feel like they've got guilty pleasure films?
No, because all of mine are quite light-hearted, and like I would never feel embarrassed about liking a film, because that's really nowadays
what I like
it doesn't
it's
matter.
so stupid.
But I think more so if someone was like, my favourite, I love watching a Serbian film, or I love watching Human Centipede, or have you seen Martyr?
I haven't seen Martyr. I don't want to.
Compared
to those two films,
it's not that bad. But like if someone said that to me, I would be like, that's weird.
Guilty as in criminal.
Like that nowadays, that's probably more
that's the bar.
What it means.
Okay, all right, interesting. I hadn't considered that. I hadn't considered it. Honestly, that's a new angle that I'm going to use when I go forward in life.
Okay, I'll do my first one.
Please.
Have you got several?
I've got some.
Oh, you got some, right? So Van Helsing,
Yeah.
You seen it?
I have seen it, yeah.
It's directed by Stephen Sommers, who done The Mummy as well, which I didn't know, like the Brendan Fraser Mummy.
Yeah.
And obviously he was trying to reboot
Dark,
the Universal horror thing, like single-handedly. So like what I'm going to do with mine is just kind of say why I like it, but why I know it's crap. Like why I know it might be regarded as a bad film. It's Hugh Jackman's in it, obviously, as Van Helsing, but what I like him in itself, but what I like about it is it's, as like a fan of Universal horror, it starts off black and white and it feels like you're watching a Universal horror film, and it is really hammy, like
I
camp.
didn't make that connection. I should have.
What would you mean?
As in, now that I've seen those films, I need to return to, like, that the connection there wasn't as obvious, because when I watched it back then I wasn't as well versed.
Yeah, it's like it's got Dracula, it's got the bride, Dracula's bride, it's got Wolfman, it's got Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein's monster is like one of the worst things in it.
Yeah.
He's always like shrieking like a big opera singer. It's like unwatchable, but yeah, he's one of the worst things in it. But what I like is it's all these monsters together.
It's a lot of homage to the original stuff.
Yeah, like Hugh Jackman's in it, which I like. Obviously, I'm a big fan of his. Who's in Glasgow right now? Yeah,
whereabouts?
He was in he's playing the High Club tonight.
Of course.
But he came like 3 days early, and he was just like he was in like a chippy, which I
what
love.
A man!
Yeah, he's a man of the people. What's his name?
He's probably never been near a chip, man. Let's be honest. Look at him.
He's probably not had a carb in like 20 years.
He probably smelled those chips and passed
out. Richard Roxburgh, who's like the only other thing I've seen him in is Mission Impossible 2. He's like the henchman.
Another guilty pleasure film, apparently. Like, why? I don't get that. I'm very confused.
It's like...
It's one of the better ones.
Right, well, that's another conversation. But he's terrible in it. He's Dracula, and it's like he's so unbelievable as him. He's just always like shrieking and like overacting and stuff like that. Yeah. But I like it because it's all the Universal horror, like monsters all together.
Yeah. It's knowing what it's doing.
Yeah, like the length, I think it's... Well, I've got 2 hours 45, but I have a feeling it's 2 hours 15. Feels really long.
Right.
Like too long. Doesn't need to be that long.
Yeah.
The plot just doesn't make sense at all. Dracula wants Frankenstein's monster as a power supply for his children. Yeah. And then they want to take over the world. It's like...
Is that world domination is the goal?
That is the goal, yeah. And then, spoilers for a film that came out over 10 years ago.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Well over 10 years ago. Is he turns into a werewolf at the end and fights Dracula. Yeah. It's just like absolute nonsense. The CGI in
He's got a good crossbow in it.
Yeah, it's like
it's
automatic.
Really cool. Yeah, it's like he's got like an automatic crossbow.
A lot of the action in it I really like, but it's at that point where they're just starting to craft CGI. Yeah. Well, it's actually after that, but it's really overused. So a lot of it, there's a part where one of the brides get like shot onto a roof and they kind of melt, and it's one of the worst things. Yeah, like just Google that.
It's like, when they work with like kind of people like this is the future of cinema. Like we'll just get in computers and they'll just do all the film and it'll be so cheap. But it didn't work. Yeah, you're right. Cool.
Like I said, Frankenstein's monster is terrible and just far too much CGI. But if you like there's something likable about it. If you can see the Universal horror in it, you know.
Yeah. Like he was obviously a fan. That you talking about him trying to reboot the dark.
I think he legit like wanted. He was going to be Van Helsing.
I think that could really work. I would like them to do that, but just like take a bit of time and like don't have Johnny Depp involved. Maybe that's how they should do it.
The Mummy that Stephen Sommers done, I love as well. Like 1 and 2, I really like. Third one's kind of crap, but even The Mummy, the Tom Cruise one from a couple of years ago, I really like.
Yeah,
anything with like monsters,
it was weird, wasn't it? Like I liked that one as well. I thought it was alright. Tom Cruise is pretty good.
It's not like it's not as bad as people say. Yeah, you know?
But it loses a lot. Now I can say that I've watched some of those originals, so I can talk. Like I think those films, what was successful about them was that they weren't trying to do like. Didn't have the budget or the ability to make these sort of great world changing things. Like what was really scary was the character performances and like the fact that Bela Lugosi looks fucking terrifying, or just like from a look or from a sight or like from the use of sound and stuff like that is what's powerful and interesting about those films. So then they do these like The Mummy Returns or like The Scorpion King, and it's like, well, we'll just like none of it is about. It doesn't matter who you've got as the villain, just so long as we've got this CG scorpion involved. Yeah, like, it doesn't really matter. That's I think something's been lost there. Yeah, along the way.
The older ones from like 20s, 30s, 40s, there's an atmosphere to it. There's an overall environment you're looking at, you know, that's terrifying, and there's a tone to them that you just don't really get. Obviously, I think Van Helsing's closer to that tone than like
Right.
The Mummy from a couple of years ago.
Right.
I really like Dracula Untold as well. Have you seen that?
I've not seen that.
That was like the earlier attempt at a reboot. It's
okay.
like Vlad the Impaler.
Oh.
But it's anyway. I could go on for days about bloody
like the horror.
films.
The horror podcast didn't do very well, unfortunately.
I know no one
None of you
really.
liked it.
No one wanted to hear it really.
That's a shame. Well, we had lots to say.
I wonder why that is though.
Write in, let us know. My one, I really, because I got into a bit of a spiral about guilty pleasures and like, do I feel guilty? Do I feel comfortable saying I feel guilty about stuff? Then a thought occurred to me in the shower, as thoughts are known to do. I was in the shower thinking, Liam's coming soon, I should get ready. And Hugh
So
Grant,
you were thinking in the shower?
Yeah, I need to have a podcast.
Bizarre.
I need to have material.
Yeah.
What do you think about it in the shower?
Just washing myself.
I do that as well.
Just what my plan is.
Yeah, no, shower thoughts, they're a thing.
Most of the time I'm rushed in the shower.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to get this over with.
I take my time.
Do you?
I enjoy it.
How long's your average shower?
My average shower varies from like 12 to 15 minutes.
Okay. I'd say altogether me getting ready is 15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. We didn't know that. Now we do. Everyone needs to know our morning routines. Anyone curious? Now they know.
Not even morning.
Anyway,
time.
I'm in the shower. I'm thinking, fuck, Liam's about to be here. I don't know what I'm doing. And then Hugh Grant. I do feel guilty that I like him. I feel a bit like I shouldn't like him.
Why though? Why?
He's not a particularly talented actor, and he's
so charming.
But he's so charming, but he shouldn't be. He's just him. He's just him all the time. In all his films, he just walks around and has floppy hair and is a bit sort of foppish, and that is literally the character. But I've watched so many Hugh Grant films, and I was sitting. Liam was there. I was here. I was looking like, which one can I choose? Like, I've seen so many of these. Like, which one is going to epitomise this? And I have gone for, if anyone can tell, Mickey Blue Eyes. Mickey Blue Eyes, 1999.
What a year!
What a year for film. We looked at this.
The Matrix.
Hell of a year. Fight Club. That was a podcast we could do, but for another
The
time.
Matrix.
No, like films from a year. Like pick
I think
a year.
it would just be us listing films from a year though.
But like talking about them and being like, that was an interesting year. These are the film. Anyway,
we got guests coming.
We do. Well, I need to talk to you about that.
Oh God.
Mickey Blue Eyes, right? Premise of Mickey Blue Eyes is Hugh Grant is Hugh Grant, but he's in America. He's in New York, and he runs a auctioneer. He's an auctioneer person, and he is like quite again charming and winning.
He's
and,
bumbling.
Funny. He's a bumbling. We watched the trailer just then, and like it's just Hugh Grant as Hugh Grant in this film, and he dates this girl. He wants to marry this girl, but the girl is a daughter of a mob boss, and because of events regarding the film, he gets embroiled in the underworld of New York and adopts this persona of Mickey Blue Eyes, and it's him trying to do accents, and that is the film. But I love it. It's so bad. Yeah. But I love it. It's funny, and it's like I have no rational reason to explain. Like Liam's done all this work to explain why he likes it. I just think, yeah, I like it, but I feel like I shouldn't, and that is essentially what guilty pleasure is it not?
Yeah, I mean,
have you seen this film?
I've seen it. Fucking like
you talk
10
about
years
the squibs,
ago.
The squib.
Yeah, does someone not pretend to shoot at the end?
Like they at the marriage, they have to they sort of concoct this scene in order to get him.
Is that what the
loose.
bit in the trailer?
Yes.
Right.
So the butcher or whatever has to come up, and he pretends to kill Hugh, Mickey Blue Eyes. Hugh, my man. Hugh. I love him, but it's silly that I love him, and I understand that it's not a rational part of me that enjoys him. I get that, right?
He's so enjoyable though.
But yeah, he gets shot, but the squibs don't go off, and then there's a bit later on, and he's just talking, it comes out that the whole thing's performance. He's talking to his wife, and he's like, or his wife to be, and he's like, well, I just want to say and they all go off sort of mid sentence, and it's quite funny.
That sounds hilarious.
It's a bit like an ejaculation. They kind of make it like an ejaculation joke. Yeah. But anyway,
things just took a turn.
They did. But that film, Mickey Blue Eyes, I'd probably say stay away. It's probably not very long, but it's not one of the best films out there. But I watched it and liked it. And there's a funny bit with Joe Can, or whatever his name is, and they're trying to convince
James
Can, that's the one.
Were you going to go for your phone?
I was, but then Liam gave me the eye. Liam gave me the eye. Don't you dare touch that phone.
It's James Can,
and he's trying to convince him to say lines, forget about it, and he just can't do it, and it's funny.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, because it's guilty that I like.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Perhaps that's
you should not feel bad about liking Mickey Blue Eyes.
I'm allowed to like it. It's ridiculous.
He's got a T-shirt that says Mickey Blue Eyes on it.
On right now. Do I? Look at me. So I do. Look at that. It's a bit of.
Forgot you were wearing it.
A bit of convenient clothing. But hey, and I think for that I could substitute pretty much any Hugh Grant film. Like Biggie Blue Eyes is a good example for me because it is such a nothing of a film.
Mm-hmm.
It's such like the trailer like telling you the story of that film. You're like, God, I don't need to see this. Thank you for showing me this film. I don't need to see it. But Notting Hill, probably put that in there. Like, why do I like that film? It's a bit silly, a bit uninteresting, but very popular. I could substitute fucking Love Actually. I could substitute any of those things because the reason I like them guiltily is Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant, if you're out there, come on the podcast.
Love Actually would definitely be a guilty one, I think. If you picked
People
that, I would have been
like
like, yes.
But people like
Not
it.
much of a Christmas film, though.
I mean, that is a Christmas film, I suppose. But I don't know. I think there's much more to him that the film doesn't focus around Christmas, really. His part in it, at least. He goes to that Christmas play. But other than that, he's just like a...
He's kissing that girl from EastEnders.
Yeah, EastEnders. You're a big fan. I'm not sighing out.
True.
You're not a fan.
Well,
you've referenced it at least twice.
I know EastEnders.
You know of it. But yeah, Hugh Grant. There we go. Guilty. I'm guilty as charged.
I like About a Boy. I think he's really good in that. It's probably my favourite Hugh Grant film. Anyway,
Hugh Grant film report.
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Had to be a superhero one in there.
Yeah, we're not done yet.
I know. I'm sorry.
I know. I like it. That's a good one. Good example.
I think it's overbloated. It's a big overbloated mess.
Yeah. Of the 3 films, it's the worst one, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Objectively, as a film, yeah, it's probably the worst one. But I like it. I really like it. I've watched it a ton of times. I remember seeing it in cinema and enjoying it, like when it first came out and that, and made like a ton of money.
Did it?
It was $258 budget to
£258.
$258 million, and
Bloody
it made
hell.
890.
Bloody
So
hell.
almost $1 billion.
Wow, almost $1 billion.
Close to it.
That sounds like a silly number, isn't it? Like that, it made almost $1 billion. That sounds like a joke, but it's actually a number that exists. Like,
Yeah,
Spider-Man 3 made almost $1 billion. That sounds like a joke. Sounds like the start of a bad joke.
it doesn't even mean
watched
anything.
it? Who watched it? Is that
Not me.
you? Several, like a
not
billion
just once, but I really like it. The action and like the set pieces are really good. Like if you just take them out of context, if you think, if you don't
absolutely.
think what's going on,
Yeah, James Franco flying on that.
It's ridiculous. But I really like the bit where he has like the rope against the wall.
He's doing the demonstration.
Yeah.
Just for you, audience.
Yeah,
he's doing a demonstration.
It's like he's got all these like gadgets and stuff like that. He's got bombs and shit, and then he gets what actually stops him is just a rope against the wall and it just knocks him out.
Yeah. Because he's not like powered up at all. He's not like taking the. Is he taking the?
Yeah,
serum?
he's taking the serum. Yeah, because you see him at the end, the start, and he's pure buff, and he's like, I'm a fucking buff guy.
Oh, I didn't know that. He didn't suffer from any of the madness, did he?
Yeah, because you see him at the God's sake, Calum. You see him at the end of 2 where Mary Jane's meant to be marrying.
Yeah, he smashes. I've seen it. He smashes the mirror and he goes into the.
But you see him and he's turned around and he's like smiling like he's all.
Oh, it made him mad.
Yeah, and he's wearing a green tie, so you're like, what the fuck?
He's back.
Yeah, it's the new Goblin. He's extreme.
He's extreme. He wears like a ski mask.
Yeah. Spider-Man and Sandman fight in the subway. I really like to see when he puts his head against the train.
Yes.
And it's like the sand coming off it. I really like that.
Yeah. I don't like that they had to convert, like, obviously it's not a film, but they like him being the guy that killed Uncle Ben. I don't like. I'm really what I like about the new iteration of Spider-Man, which we shouldn't talk about Marvel forever, but that Uncle Ben has been taken out of the equation a little bit. Like I like that.
They should get Tobey Maguire to play him.
Yeah,
that would be fucking
do a
great.
flashback thing.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Anyway,
the black suit Spider-Man, I like in general. Like I like his the look of him. He's not got the big white spider on him, or he doesn't like shoot web out of his. Like the backs of his hands,
wrist,
But I think it's like it was cool to see that.
Yeah,
you know, I'm sure eventually we'll get that or some form of it because Secret Wars is coming. So apparently,
on this slate that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I love the walking down the street scene.
Of course,
where he's strutting, and he goes in and buys the suit, and he's. I fucking loved. I don't know why people don't like that. Like that, I think that's hilarious.
As a kid, I was like, that is
still. Show me that, and I'm entertained for hours.
Wow, good for you.
J. Jonah Jameson is just like is great in it. J.K. Simmons is fantastic as
always good.
I don't know if they are going to replace him. What way they could go?
What actor wise, or
for like
Tom
Holland's one.
Hopefully they'll put that down the line. I feel like they should keep him at high school for ages. He did work for the Bugle while at school, did he?
No,
I thought that was his job.
I think that was like after, he's like a freelance photographer.
After he leaves. Anyway, write in, Spider-Man fans, let us know.
Someone that knows more about it. Obviously, like the bad stuff is like the plot in general that's so overbloated. There's a lot of like, reading about it, there's a lot of like studio meddling.
Right.
They wanted to add in Venom, they wanted to add in Gwen Stacy's in it, that's Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
They wanted that to be added in, so there's like a love triangle. The whole Mary Jane and Peter and James Franco love triangle is just nuts as well. There's so many, there's a lot of points in it where I'm just like, well, like why wouldn't you just, there's a point where Mary Jane comes and she's been fired from her play, but she doesn't tell Peter that until like
the most
way down the line.
moment.
Way down the line, and there's a part where Harry's making, I was going to say James Franco, but Harry Osborn is making Mary Jane break up with Peter on the bridge, and that's the scene where he's crying and it looks terrible, but you would just be like, by the way, Harry remembers because he gets amnesia. There's a lot going on, there's a lot of moving parts, but you would just be like, Harry's over there, he's making me say this, so go and fight him.
Let's just have a quiet word, like explain what's happening.
There's a lot of that going on. There's the Venom stuff, there's Sandman stuff who also has a subplot with his daughter. So it's crazy. There's a jazz club scene where that's so bad. He's playing the piano, but like I didn't know he could play the piano, but then he gets up and he does like this crazy dance, and it's just like, what the fuck is happening?
But the walking was fine.
The walking's great because it's like it could happen. Okay. But he's playing the piano like up here, and then he goes like double time, and then he gets up and he's dancing on a chair.
Yeah,
and
that's bad. The walking is fine, but are those scenes not connected? Does he not walk into the bar?
He walks. He's doing these like, this is when he first gets the symbiote and he gets his emo fringe.
Yeah,
and he's doing all the cool stuff. Like he's got that
pointing at girls. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Girls,
I know you do. You're on the register for that. It's really weird.
Oh man, watch it. Careful. I was just trying to make a light-hearted joke. No, I'm gonna register. You prick.
So he gets the symbiote, and then there's like a montage of him like being cool. So he's walking down the street, goes in and gets the suit, and then he does like he does the big clapping dance.
Yeah.
There's like, he's got like the Eastern European neighbour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure about that bit. Do you reckon he's given direction? Like, now you need to do bigger dance, clapping more, or is that just him?
There's a cut of it without the music, and it's like hilarious. So watch that if
talk about your Eastern European neighbour.
And like she's kind of been in love with him. Like you kind of get the feel for that in the second film, and she's like made him cookies, and he's like, do you have any cookies with nuts in them? And she's like, I have nuts, I can make you a new batch. And he's like, go make me. Do you know what I mean? Like he's being like a cool guy,
being an arsehole.
Yeah. So
that's not cool.
I've kind of lost track of what I'm talking about. I can talk about that.
You really like that film, but you feel guilty about it because it is.
I don't feel guilty about it. I fucking love it.
The whole premise of this podcast is flawed. I don't believe in it. There's no such thing as a guilty pleasure.
And Venom, like the actual like Topher Grace as Eddie Brock as Venom.
They could have done such a good story just using those two.
Yeah, I think that could have been like, that should have been its own film. But reading about it, it's really interesting to see where they wanted to go, like where Sam Raimi, who done the trilogy, would have taken it next. He wanted episode 4, the fourth film, to be The Vulture with John Malkovich.
Wow.
And halfway to be Felicia Hardy, Catwoman, Black Cat.
Excuse me, they're the same bloody person.
And to be like, to make that like a love triangle between Mary Jane and Felicia Hardy and Peter Parker. So that would have been really cool to see, because I love the trilogy. Pretty cool.
Really cool.
I think I will always think of Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man because that's what I grew up at.
Even though Spider-Man.
I think Tom Holland is a better.
I think he's a way better Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he will be Spider-Man.
Tom Holland, you're my Spider-Man.
No way, we're the same age basically.
Yeah, but
Stop pretending to be a child.
Just pretend to be a child. I'm on a register now. I'm pretending to be a child.
Oh my god!
Why are you throwing me under the bus?
I never said that.
Braveheart is a guilty pleasure because it is a bad film, and it's silly and it's long and it's bloated, and Mel Gibson is essentially a bad person.
He's an Australian man
who doesn't like Jews. Like, he's just a bad guy. What do you mean, come on? It's a fact.
Come on.
It's a fact. He said anti-Semitic things recorded several times.
Was that the one when he got pulled over by the police, or was that
several times?
I know there's a voicemail to his wife where he's like, I'm crazy.
He's crazy, right? Yeah. And so therefore we should sort of try and block him out from the public conscious. But Braveheart, I love it. I watched it as a kid. I fell in love with it. All the history's wrong. The Battle of Stirling Bridge occurs in a green field with no bridges. There's no bridges. He has sex with Edward I's wife, who would at the time would have been like 8.
Yeah.
It's just all really wrong. The whole thing's really, really wrong.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it engages in some sort of historical or nationalistic sentiment in me that I like and enjoy, and is separate from reality. And again, it's, you know, I just remember loving it. Freedom, man. Woad.
Freedom.
I'm into it. I like it. It made me emotional.
It makes you feel proud to be Scottish, which is ridiculous because everything Calum has just said, it's like crazy, utterly inaccurate.
Yeah.
It's an Australian man playing a Scottishman. William Wallace, I don't think was even that much of a warrior.
No, like that battle, where he loses that battle in actual history, the one that he wins and then goes on to like have again a successful campaign. He loses that, goes into hiding for ages, and is then killed years later.
Yeah.
In Outlaw King, they do it in Outlaw
King. I think
King.
Outlaw King's like that made me feel like that as well. What's the guy that's like he keeps screaming? It's the guy that's in Godzilla.
Oh, like Black Douglas. It's
he keeps saying Douglas.
Yeah, but what's my name?
Aaron
really
Taylor.
Cool. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, he's just like screaming.
Loved it. Outlaw King's really good. But like, so that, and I would put again, like I would substitute Braveheart for like Rob Roy or like The Patriot, like lots of those films. Mel Gibson's in both of those, not in Rob Roy, but like those sort of historical.
Oh, The Patriot. Wow, that's a bloody film.
It's a bad film.
It's like 4 hours long.
Really long, really boring, but like
Heath Ledger's in it.
Yeah, he gets really bloody. But like I like them. I remember watching those sort of historical, violent films as a kid and being sort of very into them, feeling like, you know, oh, this is history. This is like me being told pop culture history, and it's all actually really just designed to attack my eyeballs.
We watched that in history.
The Patriot.
No, William.
You watched
William
Braveheart.
Wallace, Braveheart. Yeah.
Wow,
that's how bad my school was.
Yeah. Is there not a statue of Mel Gibson outside the William Wallace Monument because no one knows what he looks like, so they just put Mel Gibson outside as William Wallace?
I don't know.
I think that is a fact. I think that is a fact, guys.
All I remember from
learning
about like Scottish history was watching Braveheart, and there was some poem by like guy called like Blind Harry, yeah, that was like, I loved William Wallace, I seen him once.
Yeah.
And you're like, bullshit, you're blind. Anyway,
apparently it's that is based on that. Like Braveheart took stuff from that long epic poem, but I can't believe that's true. I feel like that's nonsense.
I love it though.
Yeah, so do I. But I feel guilty about it because it's inaccurate history and like for all the reasons. And that is perhaps the closest I'm going to get to a guilty pleasure. Because Carwin hates the fact that I like it.
Why?
Because it's so historically inaccurate, and like he's a Scottish man.
Or something?
He's a big fan of Scotland. You know, he's well into.
He should love Braveheart.
He's well into Scotland. No, he thinks it's dumb, and like I've put it on many times, and he's been like turned that off.
There's a weird thing about like Scottish films. I think that could be like its own podcast episode where you get this fine line between like where you get like the blockbuster of like Braveheart with nonsense, and then you get like Trainspotting, which is more like down to earth, and then you get like Sunshine on Leap, like you get quite a lot of like campy. Like I don't know what Wild Rose is like. I think that's a bit more like towards like A Star Is Born, was like slightly darker.
I want to see it. Find out. We should do a review.
Yeah, I'd love to, but I'd love to see it. But I want to play Skyrim today, so
priorities.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to last night.
Do it.
Because of Game of Thrones. But anyway, there's like a weird category.
But I think that's only weird because Scotland is a small nation that only makes films like quite intermittently. Like America does that sliding scale every day of the week.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I feel like that's fine and well and good, and do more.
We do like quite horrible, like obviously Trainspotting and like Sweet 16.
Dark stuff. Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No.
That's a good film. Scotland.
Do more films. We should do a Scottish.
We should do more films. We should do an episode. That'd be.
Did you like Anna and the Apocalypse? Did you ever see that?
No, but it done like
it was really good. That was quite good.
That was released like independently, like a couple of showings, and then it came back as like a full release.
Yeah.
But that was made like 3 years ago or something like that. So it must have done well at festivals or something.
Hey, what's your last one?
Wicker Man.
Ooh.
The Nicolas Cage version,
okay.
Obviously.
Sorry. Nick Cage.
I fucking love it. Like
bees.
Yeah.
Wasps. Was it wasps or bees?
No, it's the bees. The bees are in my eyes. It's garbage, obviously. Like the plot, the acting are all terrible. Not even apart from Nicolas Cage, because he is terrible in it. But if he wasn't in it, it would be awful. Do you know what I mean? But it's him screaming and punching women in the face, dressed as a bear, and screaming about bees.
They must have known, right? They must have known.
That was
because like Wicker Man is like the actual film again, Scottish, like weird.
Yeah. I don't like the original though.
Oh, I like.
Do you like it?
Yeah. I remember watching it as a kid and feeling like, oh wow, this is like such a weird, freaky film. It's like in my head. I was thinking about it for ages afterwards, and then to take that quite cool source and be like, right, we're gonna stick Nick Cage in this, and and let him do everything that he's ever wanted
Well,
to
he
do.
produced it.
Yeah, okay.
So there's that, obviously, but it's just, I think it's a really bizarre film. Like, I love it in the way it's like Nick Cage, obviously, just doing whatever he wants to do. But the ending, like, it comes up saying dedicated to Johnny Ramone. Ramones are one of my favourite bands, and now it's just bizarre. Like, it's just, and then
I didn't know that. Dedicated to Johnny Ramone.
Yeah. On a couple of, I think it's like the special edition or director's cut. There's a post-credit scene with James Franco. It's just like a bizarre, like,
bloody hell.
How did this pass inspection? Do you know what I mean? Like, how was this released?
Someone's like, yeah, we'll put money towards that.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen it in the cinema. Genuinely. I don't have a lot.
You can make that happen.
I don't have a lot.
You can make that happen, Liam.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about it because it is, like, I know it is a guilty pleasure because I know it's crap. But if it just didn't have Nicolas Cage,
man, you're allowed to like it. I'm leaning in, Liam. You're allowed to like it. Guilty pleasure. I really disagree with the premise of this. This is almost as bad as trilogies.
How? Because you don't actually understand.
I don't understand, and also I don't like. I agree that trilogies exist. I just don't know what they are. But guilty pleasures, I don't think they exist. I feel like you should let them like what you like.
It is a thing though.
Like what you like.
But it's like I
agree it's an accepted phrase.
It's a conversation starter.
But we don't have guilty pleasures.
We've spoke for like 25 minutes about it.
We've done pretty well. I haven't got a third one, so.
Okay, well I think that'll...
Will that do us?
That'll wrap it, yeah.
What do you think about guilty pleasures, everyone?
Yeah, what are your guilty pleasures?
All 50.
Gavin will comment, so...
Good.
Gavin always comments.
Let us know.
It was just one comment on the video last week that said John C. Reilly wasn't in The Master, and I was like, thanks.
He wasn't.
Thanks for letting it.
He wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know why
you tried to catch me out there. It was like, you haven't done your homework, and I was like, I'm sure I did do my homework.
Yeah.
We should watch The Master. Do a review.
Really?
Yeah, I think for Gavin, we should do that.
Gavin will be on at some point, I'm sure. But you need to talk about guests.
I wanna. I'll talk to you about it afterwards, maybe, because I wanna, like, not something having a word.
It's all fair.
I just wanna. Yeah, I wanna pitch something, and I don't think you guys are interested. I don't think you'll be interested when it happens, but I've got a say in this a little bit.
Kind of. 60-40.
60-40. Yeah, that's a generous portion you're giving me. Thanks.
So are we, like, because I was going to get...
Yeah, this is down the line. This is not like...
Alright, okay. I was going to get Jake on next week.
Cool.
So
I've met him now.
Have you?
Yeah.
He's got a nice head.
You won't be able to see that.
I know.
Guys.
I might just have that as the photo.
Do it. Yeah. That'd be fun. I'm sure he'd love that.
Jake the painter. So hopefully he'll be on next week if all goes to plan. He's an art student, so I don't know if there's some sort of...
Let him explain himself.
No, but like, I don't know if there's, like, how does that fit into film?
I don't know, but why does his study need to come into it?
Because he knows a lot about art. So I was thinking, like, art films, but then I was like, no, that's really stupid.
Write in suggestions.
And so, yeah, Jake the painter.
You've got so much power. You don't realise how much power. Like, Gavin wrote one thing, like, on the internet once, and now we've been thinking about it for like a week.
He also messaged me saying, can I be a guest on your podcast? And I didn't reply, but the answer is yes.
Come on, Gavin. Come over.
I mean, right, well, we've got Jake the painter.
We're filling time here.
Then we've got Curtis, and then we've got Harry for Far From Home. So, well, we're getting around everyone.
I feel like we need to... This is getting old. Us two. We're old and boring.
I hope you're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I think we need to inject some life into it.
Are you kidding?
Kill Iron Man. Bring some new stuff in.
I can't tell if you're serious.
No, I like it. This is fun.
It's fun.
This is fun.
Right.
We're having a good time.
Anyway, no one wants to hear this. So...
Cut it.
I'm going to add in the music.
Do at the end, please. Because he hit me at the end of the last one.
I don't know if anyone noticed.
Yeah, I was like looking on my phone for this Kids Write Jokes thing. And
that was weird.
And Liam was sort of like, and I'm Liam. And then he hit me in order to get me to say my bit. And that's how it ended. It ended coldly with me being out.
Yeah, you ouched. Okay. I have been Liam.
And I've been Calum, don't hit me.
See you next week. We'll have Jake the painter on.
See you then, Jake.
That was a strange episode.
Yeah, there was so much guff. Stop it.